I'm Professor Carole Collet, and I'm the director of Maison Zero, the Centre Saint-Martin's LVMH creative platform for regenerative luxury. I'm based at Centre Saint-Martin's in London. In this video, I will show you a range of design strategies that address some of our critical ecological challenges via a creative lens. Whilst there are many different approaches, my message for you today is that we need to accelerate our environmental actions. We need to go beyond the idea of sustainability, where too often the focus is simply on minimizing impact. I will argue that we now need to transition to a regenerative design practice that helps replenish our climate, our biodiversity, and our communities. So first of all, why are we speaking about a planetary emergency? There are two key critical challenges I want to address today. First, the rapid decline of our biodiversity. In the past 40 years, we have lost nearly 60% of our wildlife population. We know that at least 1 million species are at risk of extinction because of human activities, yet we depend on other species every day. Think of how insects pollinate the food we eat. Ecosystem services are critical for our own survival, and we've taken them for granted. It is now urgent that we reverse our biodiversity rapid decline and help replenish our ecosystems. So how do we design to nurture and replenish our biodiversity? It is a new paradigm for us designers. The second critical challenge is climate warming. The International Paris Agreement Treaty requires that we limit our climate warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius increase compared to pre-industrial time. We now have 8 years left, as of 2022, to halve our carbon emission. A very difficult task. The time to act is now, and whilst it is a tough challenge, it also opens up new creative opportunities for us. So a key question for design is how do we integrate impactful carbon sinking strategies in the creative process? Clearly, business as usual is not an option, and a creative sector like others will need to respond to these critical challenges. So I will now show you some examples of some of our projects where we explore new ways to adopt ecological principles in the creative process. I will start with a series of projects produced in collaboration with the Master of Biodesign and the LVMH Environment team. These were presented at the IUCN Congress on Nature in 2021. This is Algalip by Eleonora Rombola. Algalip is a prototype for a new lipstick 100% made from algae. The lip balm, the colorant, and even the packaging are made from algae. Here, the designer chose to explore the potential to create a mono-material product made with one biological ingredient. By using this approach, she succeeded in removing petrochemicals which emit carbon and are normally used in lipstick production. The benefit of this concept is that algae eat carbon and release oxygen as they grow. A win-win scenario, potentially generating a carbon-negative lipstick. Here is Accessories, a project by Cassie Quinn, designed to address the issue of textile dye wastewater, which is toxic for aquatic life. Here, Cassie uses a natural polymer called chitin, extracted from waste oyster shells, to filter dye wastewater. At the end of the process, the chitin self-assembles in a biopolymer film, which is then used to produce biodegradable sequins. This results in clean water and a new biomaterial that can be used to replace oil-based plastic sequins. By thinking in systems, Cassie combines the byproduct of a food system with the byproduct of a textile waste stream to achieve a nature-positive outcome for both textiles and aquatic life. Around the world, our intensive farming models have depleted our soils. Today, we understand that we need to transition to new forms of agriculture. With his project, Rhys Hendricks developed a series of biome fruits designed specifically for the Champagne terroir and engineered to host local, endemic, beneficial insects and microorganisms. Informed by permaculture principles, these pods are designed to be hung amongst the vineyards, and in addition to providing bespoke insect habitats, they will release seeds and nutrients to regenerate the soil throughout the year. The outcome is a family of products designed for multi-species that can help champagne production transition to a regenerative system. And finally, I will show you another project developed in collaboration with the LVMH Environment team. Here, the brief was to develop new nature-positive materials for luxury stores. Our designers, Brigitte Koch and Irene Roca-Morazia, chose to create tiles made from materials derived from two invasive species, the Japanese knotweed and the American signal crayfish. One of the causes of our biodiversity decline is invasive species that take over the resources and habitats of local species to the point of threatening them, thus creating major collapses in ecosystems. By developing a new use for these two species, we can incentivize further their removal and help ecosystems recover. Again, here we can see that the starting point for the creative process is the regeneration of an ecosystem. And the final product, in this case a collection of tiles, is the consequence of that regenerative process. I will now conclude with 4 key learnings. We need to design for a more than human world. We need to learn from nature and adopt bio-informed creative strategies. We need to integrate system thinking in our creative process and consider the act of design as part of a web of life. We need to transition to a regenerative culture where design can actively reverse socio-ecological damage. Now it is up to you to engage with a form of creativity that nourishes our world. Thank you.